first meeting of the Auburn School Committee. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, introductions down here to my right, please.
Dave Simpson at large.
Ryan Belknap, Ward 4.
Corin McGuigan, Ward 1.
Pam Hart, Ward 2.
Karen Matthew, Ward 3.
Connie Brown, Superintendent.
Faith Fontaine at large.
Dan Poisson, Ward 5.
Brian Carrier, Mayor's Representative.
Abigail Fauché, Student Representative.
Gabriel Despradel, Student Representative.
Sue Doris, Assistant Superintendent.
All right, welcome everyone. Okay, consent agenda. Can I have a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda, which includes the minutes of November 3rd, November 17th, as well as the certificated nominations for, I'm sorry, I hope I get this right, Tisha Buckley, grade 3, and Christina Ellis, kindergarten, please.
So moved.
Thank
Second.
you, Brian. Thank you, Dave. Questions, comments? None. Seeing none, all those in favor? Great, motion passes, thank you. All right, public participation. Do we have anyone here from the public who would like to come and speak to the school committee this evening? Seeing none, closing public participation. Presentation. We have a presentation this evening because, just for public transparency, after votes have gone through, we have some school committee members whose terms have come to an end, and we are bidding them, or honoring them this evening for their service. So with all that, I think I'm going to shift gears and jump into front here for a moment. Actually, before I do that, I just want to take a minute, because my notes are in front of me here, that I want to take a minute to just personally thank each and every one of you who will not be returning to these council chambers, sitting in these seats anymore. I know that serving on this community is a huge time commitment that is not only just 2 Wednesdays a month, it also includes thousands of hours of negotiation subcommittees, policy subcommittees, finance subcommittees, curriculum subcommittees, emails, being with constituents every moment that we are not, sometimes in this chamber, feels like we are still serving the community on the school committee. So I just want to take a moment to publicly thank all of you for your service. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure serving with all of you. All right. And with that said,
One job.
Had one job.
all right. So it's tradition to, I think at this point people know what's in these little boxes. It's sort of tradition to receive your glass apple as a thank you from the Auburn School Committee for all of your time. So with that being said, I'll start with Mr. Dave Simpson for serving your term on the school committee. Mr. Brian Carrier. Mr. Brian Mr. Carrier has been the city council rep for our season, so we thank you so much. It's been phenomenal having you as our go-between between the city and the school. Thank you very much. Yes. All right. Looking around. Faith Fontaine. Faith has served 3 terms on the school committee, has spent thousands of hours negotiating contracts, and has just been such a, I'm not even going to make you cry. So I just have to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's been a pleasure serving with you, my friend. All right. And now, last but not least, Corin McWiggin. Corin, you weren't with us long, but you're serving on the curriculum committee, and your voice of calm and reason sometimes in the storm has been really important for all of us. So thank you so much, and we hope to see you, maybe sitting in the audience with us some days. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay. School committee students rep report. Abby, I believe you are up first. No, there will be no picture presentations, but they both have something they'd verbally like to share.
All right, so right before break, the ELHS drama team produced a film called Fairy Tale Courtroom. It was student directed by Maddie Dubois and assistant student directed by Ian Lathrop. The play was in a courtroom setting, and the audience actually got to participate in the production and deciding whether the person on trial was innocent or guilty. So it was a really fun experience for everyone who attended. And I asked director Maddie Dubois on how she felt about her role student directing, and she said it was a very fun experience for her being a director of ELHS drama team. And the show was a really, really big success.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing.
To embody the spirit of the holidays that are coming up soon, I want to mention how our school district has given back to the community, which has done so much for us. As students to thrive in a safe academic environment to reach our true potential, I know many of us are thankful for these opportunities, such as business donations or letting EL volunteer at their establishment. So I just want to share a few schools that have helped our community. At Sherwood Heights, the Parent Booster Group, Friends of the Sherwood Heights, sponsored a food drive that filled Thanksgiving baskets for Sherwood families that needed a helping hand. In addition, students have selected Misfit Rehab as their beneficiary for their SENS program. SENS is a part of their PBIS acknowledgement system. Students who demonstrate the core values of respect, responsibility, and safe receive pennies to acknowledge those behaviors. Pennies are collected over time and added to the community collection jar. At East Auburn Community School, students have made holiday and seasonal cards for the veterans in the community. At Park Avenue, families in need received gift cards to Hannaford's to help them with food during Thanksgiving. And the Methodist Church, one of the school's business partners, and Austin Associates and Maine Family Credit Union sponsor that. Mr. Maris and the school staff are beyond thankful for everyone's generosity. At Walton, they did their annual turkey bingo virtually over Zoom due to COVID. They had more than 80 people registered to play bingo, and prizes varied from turkeys to pie to homemade breads. At AMS, they have a center called the Falcon Outlet, which is a resource for kids and is a safe space to pick up clothes, shoes, hygiene, and items. And that's all year round. That's not just for the season. And at EL, B and Abby helped out with this. We had our annual Thanksgiving food drive and donated over 350 pounds of food to the Good Shepherd.
Wow, wonderful.
Yeah, and just to say thank you to the community again for donating all the supplies that they've given to us, all the opportunities we've had, and Fairview. My sister told me about this one. She's currently in 4th grade and mentioned that they're doing a point per dollar system throughout the whole school to raise money for the community. According to her, the proceeds of the school-wide event will be used to ease the cost of Thanksgiving meals for underprivileged families.
Right,
So
thank
those are all the
you.
things our school system has done to help the community.
Wonderful. Thank you both so much for reporting out on that. Oh,
Hi.
yes.
Sorry. I just wanted to mention we're in the holiday spirit, and we mentioned Thanksgiving a lot, but I would just like to say Happy Hanukkah to all who celebrate in the Auburn community. It started on Sunday, and it's, yay.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Abby. All right, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Brown.
Thank you very much, Chairperson Matthew. The first couple of items are just FYIs for everyone. A reminder that there is an upcoming holiday concert on December 7 at 7, and the EL folks are going to perform there. The State of the Schools, which is something that we started last year, will be presented January 5th, and the administrators will be doing that presentation. I would like to ask Dr. Doris if she would give you an update regarding our mathematics curriculum evaluation. I think the committee is aware that we are examining our K-8 mathematics curriculum, and Sue's taken the lead on that. So an update, if you might. Thank you.
Yep. We recently formed a math leadership team for the purpose of reviewing our math curriculum and our math programs. And this is really critical work because we know that a high-quality math program is going to be the basis for excellent and equitable instruction in our district and across all of our schools. So we have a team that's made up of teachers and administrators from the elementary, middle, and high school levels. And we are including the high school in the review right now as part of the process. And our team is meeting twice a month. And we're going to follow the same protocols that we used last year for our English language arts program review. So this means we're going to be looking at student achievement data. We will be looking at our teachers' level of experience and their level of education. We will be gathering some feedback via surveys from our teachers, from our students, and from our parents. And then we're going to be looking at the programs themselves that we use right now. We're going to be evaluating the current materials that we use to teach math. So where we are right now in the process is we've had a couple of meetings. The last meeting, we spent a great deal of time looking at our student achievement data, and we also looked at that teacher information in terms of how many teachers do we have that are new to the district, how many are in the middle, and how many highly experienced teachers do we have, and what are their levels of education. And then our next meeting is going to focus on the results of the surveys. So we just sent those out yesterday. If you're a parent, you may be receiving them in the next day or two. And our teachers and students have received them already. So our hope is that by the end of January, beginning of February, we'll have some findings to bring back to the school committee. And when you do a program review, you are going to come up with, 1, 2, or 3 options. One option might be that the current programs are serving their purpose, and you're going to keep things the same. Another option might be that the materials that we have are great, but we don't have enough professional development. And a third option might be we need a new curriculum, and we need to have professional development along with that. So we're hoping by the end of January, beginning of February, that we'll know where we are with that process.
Thanks, Sue. Any questions from the committee? The last thing, thank you, under my report is an update on pool testing. This is something that had been requested by the committee at a prior meeting. And Sue, you want to share with them? We started the 15th. How's it going?
Well, it's going really well so far. We started testing on November 15th, and at that point we had 700 students and staff members that were participating in the pool testing. And it has gone so smoothly, and the kids have been great. They're doing a fantastic job with swabbing and the whole testing process. This week we resumed testing, and we're up to 835 participants. This is 724 students and 111 staff members. And for those of you who check out the COVID dashboard, we've added a pool testing chart so that you can follow the progress. And to date, we have identified 10 positive cases, which I think is phenomenal. And this is part of the reason why we're doing pool testing, is so that we can identify students that may not have any symptoms that are positive for COVID. And then in addition to that, we have probably close to 40 students now that are able to stay in school who are identified as close contacts at school, but they're able to continue to come to school because they're participating in the program. And this is one of the huge benefits of doing it. And I also want to say a huge thank you to our pool testing coordinator, Angela Shildroth, and our school nurses who have been working overtime on this, as well as our administrators and school staff and volunteers. As this takes a lot of work, and they have done a tremendous job with this, getting it up and running.
Thanks, Dr. Doris. That concludes my report.
Any questions for Dr. Doris on pool testing? All right, seeing none. Chairperson's report. I just want to make sure that it's publicly, I'm sorry, so true, complete transparency. I came from a hockey mom to here, and so my head is still thinking like, how did the game turn out and all that stuff. So I'm going to get back to this for a second. My chairperson's report is I want to make sure that you have all received, those of you who are returning to the committee, have received your invitation for the swearing-in ceremony, which is happening on December 13th. Please make sure to RSVP, and if you're including any family members in that, bring them along as well. Get tickets for them as well. And then I've reached out to new school committee members. I think they are well aware of it as well. So December 13th will be the swearing-in, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I'm not 100% sure on the time, but wanted to make sure that was out there. At the senior center. At the senior center. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Pam. All right, city council update. Mr. Carrier, anything to update? Not this time around. There's not a next time around. Are you sure?
Next time you'll
Not for you.
Yeah, from me, the next time you'll get it from the horse's mouth.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you. Committee reports. Committee reports. Any subcommittee needs to report out. Lauren, did you want to report out on curriculum? Well, I think Dr. Doris pretty much covered it. I think so. Absolutely. All right. We have curriculum subcommittee report out. Any other committees need to report out? All right. Seeing none. Let's move on. Old business. Moving on to policies. Can I have a motion to approve policy JLCD, administration of medication to students, for a second reading and approval, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Was that you, Corin? Yes, thank you, Corin. Questions, comments on that one? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion passes, thank you. New business, we have policy AUBIK, evaluation of student achievement. Can I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Carrier. Can I have a second? Dan?
Second.
Oh, thank you, Dan. I'll take your second. Any questions, comments on that one? You all have the notes on the meeting. Seeing no comment on that one, let's call for a vote. All those in favor? Motion passes. Thank you. Policy AUBIKE, promotion, retention, acceleration of students. Can I entertain a motion to approve that policy, please? Second. Thank you, thank you, Dave. Thank you, Corin. Questions, comments on that one?
I have a question.
Sure.
So when I read through this, the retention, it takes into account, parents are kind of included in that motion, into that decision. But when it comes to acceleration, parents have been taken out of that as far as accelerating, only have been put into if they're dissatisfied that they can go back to the principal's decision. So I was just kind of questioning why that was, why the parents were taken out of that.
Ooh, good question. So these are typically, I was going to say, let's look back to the policy
So it
that you
says-
used to guide to create it, right?
The student, the parent, and the student's parents and other professional staff. So it says, decisions regarding acceleration shall be made by the principal and in consultation with the student's teachers, the gifted and talented education coordinator. It used to be the student and the student's parents, but that's been taken out. And then other professionals, consultants as appropriate. A parent who is dissatisfied can go back to the principal and appeal to the superintendent.
So they're not part of the original decision, but only if they can come back and appeal. What's the reason for striking? Is that because MSMA didn't have that in their policy?
It is. Dr. Doris, you want to speak to this?
Yeah, that was updated according to the MSA language, and that was not included in the language of the sample policy.
I'm just going to kind of jump in. However, good practice would say that just because it's not in the policy, I would think parents would be notified.
Absolutely.
their
We would
child
be
is
including
considered.
parents in any decision-making around
Yeah,
that.
that's what, well, that was my concern, because we're including them, if we're retaining them, we're keeping them back. I want to make sure that they're included when we're excelling them as well.
Okay, thank you, Pam. Any other questions, comments on that one? All right, seeing none, all those in favor? Right, motion passes, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, upcoming meetings. We have, I mentioned the December 13th, which is the swearing-in inauguration ceremony. December 15th is it's a school committee organizational meeting, and I've been asked what that means. That's where we re-elect chair and co-chair. So the meeting will begin with Dr. Brown leading that meeting. And then we'll walk through the steps to elect a chair, and then from there, a vice chair. Okay? All right, that's what the organizational meeting is all about. January 4th, we have it slated as a school committee retreat, done just as last year. And then the State of the Schools presentation is on the 5th, and then another regular meeting on January 19th. Any other, question, or do you want are you looking for the future?
Well, I'm actually, it's a question.
Yeah.
So when we, like us that were new on the board last time, the MSMA came and kind of gave us, a guideline as to what to follow, what we should be doing.
Yeah.
Are we going to be doing that as well for the new people that are going to be coming on the board?
That's
Is
the
that part of
January
retreat?
4th. Yep, that's the
Okay.
January 4th. So I'm organizing that right now with MSMA.
Okay.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Any other questions, comments? None? All right, any other requests for future agenda items or requests for information? All right, seeing none, can I have a motion to adjourn, please? Thank you. Second. There you go, Corin. All those in favor? Meeting adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice and quick.